Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I'll have you a 4 versus 4 on Omaha, and this is going to be myself, Val, Betts and Bubble Box on the Axis side versus Ad Rain, Ludojad, Zophran and Franzicus. Wow, okay, let's put this to my point of view to start off with, and I've already started deploying my forces on the far left, because in this one I'm going to be fighting over the beach. Now somebody had asked me previously to play a game where I basically fought over the beach in Omaha, so here we are, and that's what I'm going to do today. And as you can see, it's a beautiful map. I love the fact that on the 4v4 version of this map you can actually fight over the beach, and that's really what I wanted to show off today, so that's really what I was going for. Val and Betts were going to fight in the middle, and over on the right side I believe it was Bubble Box's job to hold the line. So I'm starting off with a couple of AT guns already, my classic 259. This is an SS-Panzer division, and Bubble Box is also using an SS-Panzer, and then Val and Betts are both using SS-Panzer Grenadiers. We are facing 3 15th Infantry Scots divisions and the 3rd Armoured Division as well. So yeah, just a beautiful setting, this map. I really enjoy the fact that you can play over the beach itself, even though the beach was technically not active after the landing. But there we go. You can see all of the units that were sort of bogged down and killed on the beach. All of the German tanks, got some trucks and stuff that have been bogged down into the sand. Loads of craters. What I thought would be a really cool idea is if they could actually man these guns. Like if you move an infantry squad into the ship, you can actually man the guns on the front of them. So there's like these quad or auto cannons, or the quad 50 cals. There's a couple of 20mm there, and you've got the big gun on the front as well. So that would have been really cool, but I mean obviously for gameplay purposes it's not very practical. Some sort of like tug of war down the beach would have been really cool. Either way, let's continue to look at what I'm bringing in today. We do have the Bow Cromwell, and we have the Mortar Half-Track. I've got SPW 222s with the Recon Infantry. If we head over to the centre, we can have a look at what Betts has. Plenty of the Schwimmwagens with infantry and some command infantry there. He's got a couple of AT guns, plenty of Recon. We're going to see Val with more Schwimmwagens with infantry, a couple of AT guns. AT gun starts are generally quite popular now, and he's also got a Stug there as well. Over on the far right, and the other SS Panzer division, again SPW 222s with the 259s for Bubble Box, and he's also going to be sporting that with the Panzer II. Now this is a combination actually that I really enjoy. The Panzer II in combination with the 259s, really fun. This Panzer II obviously providing the veterancy to the 259s, and that can definitely be useful throughout the game. Either way, we're off, and we're already running a +1 since our units are moving very quickly towards the centre line, and maybe they didn't go down the roads as quickly as we did, but the +1's currently in our favour, and we'll take that. So I'm just going to be placing this Kubel over on this left side hedgerow here. But I noticed how far I was pushing the line forwards, so I decided to just replace the fast move order to the hedgerow just here. You can see that the unloaded position actually went further than the hedgerow, which was a bit odd. Honestly, I probably should have noticed that occurring beforehand, because as you can see, I unload the AT gun and just have it pushed manually back to the hedgerow now. Brought this Bow Cromwell over to the right side, and the idea of this was to harass the M5A1 and bring it into range of the Pak 38. Now I noticed people were discussing using return fire on AT guns. I guess it kind of works in the fact that you can manually target your AT guns if you want, and then just use return fire for if they actually get spotted, and that would obviously save them from being hit by airstrikes and mortars. However, if you place them in places that are generally quite threatening, or they don't have line of sight onto you until they do see them, then you don't necessarily need to use return fire all the time. However, in this case, I'm just keeping the AT guns in the hedgerows. They're not in range to attack anything, so they're not going to get found for a while. Here goes my little scout up the beach. Got my half track going for a little ride. I basically wanted to challenge how far I could get on the left side of the map, as I do see Zofran moving towards me with his universal carriers and rifles and so on. Also got a dingo in there. It's a command unit, going to be buffing up the units around him. Just moving over, he's got the universal carrier here, he's also got the HMG. Got two dingoes. Bit odd, not entirely sure why he brought two of them. One's normally enough because of the sort of radius which it provides. It's normally quite big for the dingo. Looks like Betts is finally getting some contact in the centre, and Val's starting to get some contact as well. Here we go, my 259 is engaging with this Bedford truck, probably carrying some rifles. We managed to pin that down, and it forces the rifle squads to drop out. Now I've got my Pack 38 engaging the Honey Stewart, and boom goes the Honey Stewart. Also managed to take out the universal carrier there, but now my 259 is going to be pinning down the rifle squad. And that's great, and we're going to be charging that down just to make them surrender as soon as possible.
Don't shoot.
The thing about rifles, especially like playing against Scots divisions, is they don't have any AT, and you can really exploit that, and in this game you'll see that happen quite a lot. Now I have my 222 opening up onto another rifle squad. Basically all of the 10-man squads that I'm playing against are all rifles, and I'm basically well aware of that, so I don't really have to be worried about them. That's why I'm just putting this 259, charging that up there. I do have my half-track there killed off by the 6-pounder. And again, this rifle squad just getting overrun by my APC, no problemo. Easy stuff. In the centre, contention's still going on. But Val's Stostrup charging down some rifles here. A mortar fire is coming in onto the AT gun on the road. Let's get a lovely kill there. Got to be watching out that he doesn't get flanked too hard though, because Stostrup could easily run through these hedgerows and kill the mortars which are obviously here. Over on this far left side, well, my half-track at this close range, perfectly equipped to take care of a HMG squad, and I saw that go in there earlier. I can just run that down, bringing up the 222 to support. There is an Ulster coming up, and that's going to get shot at by my 222s and the 259, and going to be forced to fall back, so that gets rid of their recon. And now my infantry are engaging their scouts in the centre here, so I've got some Panzer Grenadiers supported by the Panzergrenadiere to try and take out those scouts. I do spot a scout squad down here, and actually, well, I let the scouts start throwing grenades at my 259. I was hoping that I would be able to sort of suppress the scouts unit quicker, but I didn't, unfortunately, so I ended up losing the 259 to the small grenades that the scouts have, and then I also lost the 222 to, I believe, a Honey Stewart that had been brought in to like basically defend against that attack. And in this case, Honey Stewarts are actually a really good solution to my attack, because they can pin down infantry very easily. As you can see, I'm forcing back my Panzergrens, and also they deal with these half-tracks very nicely. Also brought in a Typhoon there, try and hit my 222, but that actually is a little bit off target. Now I brought up a Panzer II and another 259 to reinforce here, so the idea is that I'm just going to create a little ambush position, and if they want to push onto this, they're going to definitely die, because I will be able to take out the Honey Stewarts at close range with those autocannons. So now the Dingo and the Honey Stewart are still engaging my infantry here, and I'm going to be slowly falling them all back just to make sure that they don't die until I'm in a position to fight back. In the centre, well, Betts is still pushing hard against some rifles, some armoured rifles here, and also this M5A1, although the M5A1 is going to make short work of this command infantry squad if it's allowed to stay on target. There's a little bit of a flank going on here. Betts is trying to pull over his Stug. However, that's being smoked. I lose another half-track on this side to the Honey Stewart. And down here, well, some scouts move on, try and basically provide some recon to Zofflin, but they're going to get captured by my Panzer II and the 222, and now my Pak 38 is going to take out a Honey Stewart down the road. So that was a really nice kill, and now the other Honey Stewart is coming down the beach. Now I'm assuming that he found out where these were. However, he did let his Honey Stewart get a little bit too close for comfort, and you'll see that in a second. But his Honey Stewart at the moment, if I just put it to the neutral perspective, is rolling down this beach. He's having fun here. He's basically, he knows where these things are because they're obviously firing at the Ulster. And there goes the Ulster, actually gets shot down by one of the 222s in the end. And with that happening, he's going to move the Honey Stewart around to the far right to try and get onto my forces here. As you'll see shortly, having all three of these on target that will allow me to kill the Honey Stewart. And here I had them all on return fire because I didn't want them to fire at such a long range. But considering the Panzer II got spotted, well, the Panzer II opens up, knocks out the driver, and I'm allowed to get the 259 and the 222 on target, which then weapon damage, which causes him to not be able to fire back. And with that much fire coming down onto the Honey Stewart, I managed to ambush it successfully and destroy it. So that worked out very nicely. Now brought up a Firefly as well. That's basically here to help me clear up these Honey Stewarts, because he brought in the Honey Stewarts to counter my APCs. He didn't actually use them very effectively. It was the right choice though, and now I've used a Firefly to counter his Honey Stewarts. I don't generally bring in the Firefly very early on because it can get killed by specific units like the HS-129s and so on. Actually, well, the HS-129s aren't on Axis, but either way, there are often units that can destroy a Firefly in Phase A, and you just don't want to lose 200 points just like that. Either way, my Firefly does take out the enemy Honey Stewart there. In the centre of the map, a big engagement going on still between Val, Betts and the enemy team. So, still trying to make a lot of progress here, and we're still running the +1, 55% territory lead. We've definitely made a lot of ground in the centre. There is small gaps between Betts and Val and myself and Bubblebox, but they're being covered reasonably well, or well enough. Now the Firefly is going to be trying to take out another Honey Stewart there, and the Pak 38s are going to be firing at the half track over here. I'm bringing up a recon squad. This is basically to assist these half tracks and the recon vehicle there, the 222, and also the Panzer II in moving forwards up the beach, because I don't know what's beyond this location and I don't want to like run into any AT or anything, so I'm bringing up a recon squad just to see if there's anything else up the beach. In the centre, we've definitely made a lot of ground. We're getting split quite heavily as Val continues to push through the centre. With Phase B coming along, you can see that Val's now going to be bringing up plenty of AA to try and stop all of these aircraft that are attacking us. And I'm going to be bringing up a Panther D. So of course they are still using the Honey Stewarts, and well, the only thing they can really use to counter a Firefly is their own armour, like the Churchills and so on. So it could also bring in 16-pounders, but I just decided to bring in the Panther D anyway to try and clear up some of this armour and carry on. Also moving up my mortar to also take care of enemy AT if I need to. Over on the far right side, AVRE is going to be blowing up one of Bubblebox's APCs. Panzer Grenadier is going to be able to pin down these Bren group quite nicely though, but I'm going to be hit by the Honey Stewart and the command carrier. Things are going relatively well here by the looks of things. He does have his Firefly and his Panzer II still alive, and Val's now brought up a Pak 40 for the right side as well. So I'm just firing some random mortar shells into this tree line because I saw an AT gun here earlier, the one that wheeled forwards and shot my half track and then wheeled back. I'm assuming it's in this forest, and if I actually go to the neutral perspective, you can see it's right here. And well, with that mortar strike, it does affect the morale of the 6-pounder quite a lot. And what I'm going to do is try and move forwards my troops now. The Panther D helping out against the scouts. giving those Panzer Grenadiers the ability to move on. And now I've got my Firefly moving across to try and take care of the Honey Stewart. Just trying to get line of sight onto that to take it out. I love the look of this tank. It's so nice. I can't wait until we have the Canadian division, which will definitely be using Fireflies. That'd be very, very cool. Over on the centre. Oh, we definitely made so much ground here. We're currently at a +2, 58% territory lead. Now, well, with those scouts being spotted once again, and the Grenadiers are able to push on up. Now, this group of stuff here, that could definitely have been like bombed or maybe even artied. But wasn't too much of an issue. I actually sent up a half-track here, which did get destroyed. This was just an infantry half-track. It basically spotted the AT gun for me, and then I used my mortar half-track to actually destroy that for us before I decided to move up my vehicle. So I basically sacrificed the half-track to find out where the AT position was. And I also have, obviously, the recon on the far side here, landing on the beach, having a great day, and loving the view. But yeah, they were just there to provide recon, obviously showing me these Bedford trucks sitting here with probably some enemy rifles in there that haven't been unloaded. I wasn't playing against the best opponent in this game. Unfortunately, there was quite a lot of obvious mistakes, like for example there, you know, those rifles shouldn't have been sitting in those trucks for so long, and they're all bunched up together. And now what I'm going to do, now I brought up a recon half-track, or like a recon vehicle to join me. I'm going to be using that alongside these autocannon vehicles to push on to the enemy infantry. That infantry there going to be destroyed, the Vickers HMG. I'm using the mortar to attack the 6-pounder. Basically decided it's probably more effective for me to actually smoke my units so they can't be shot from that direction. So I smoke off my half-tracks and so on. And this 222 is getting very close to the rifles, and of course they do have the grenades still that they can use to try and kill vehicles. So I was having to back off the 222 for a little while, and I also cover off in between these two trees here. So as you can see, that's blocking the line of sight there. That was the plan, just so that I can continue this little push once they've recovered their morale. And meanwhile, my Panther G is going to be, or Panther D is going to be covering the main road. So this Honey Stewart's going to be moving up straight into the line of sight of my Panther D. And now I'm using this Panzer II to pin down some rifles there, and my other support vehicles are going to be joining it shortly. So I do hit a direct hit onto the Honey Stewart, weapon damage again. These rifles coming out into the open are just going to get mown down by all of the AT guns and so on, so just ripping to shreds the infantry. And Grenadiers on this side are being pinned down by a 30 cal Jeep at the moment, but that wasn't too much of an issue. I wasn't really worried about that because when they're pinned down they get that cover bonus. They're going to be destroying another unit of rifles. You can just see how quickly they die even in the pinned down state. Now knowing that there is the 6-pound here, I'm going to be using the Panzerwerfer, try and take that out if I can, and boom, there it goes. About the 8th rocket landing on target. That's going to allow this Panther D a lot more breathing space, and also the Firefly that's hanging out on the beach right now. Now they're getting their beach holiday. They're being told to come ashore. And well, we've got to try and find out what's causing the influence here. I'm just running around with all of these half-tracks at the moment with the recon vehicle as well. Trying to see if I can spot any of the infantry. They're staying here. There is a rifle squad that is going to get found and pinned down and absolutely destroyed. Once that's gone, well, the line's going to move back in my favour quite dramatically on the left side. In the centre, a lot of ground still being made here. Val making great work of, or making great use of the Nebelwerfer 41s. And these Nebelwerfers, they definitely do a lot of damage, and as you can see, he has been using them here to crush some of the infantry of the enemy, making quite a lot of ground on the left still. Going to be taking out a scouts unit there, and on all of this infantry, I'm not entirely sure why he was using so much infantry on this left side. I was really quite surprised. I'm not entirely sure if he thought I was going to attack him with infantry, like down the beach or something. But in the end, all of this combined force here, the only way you can really deal with this is either with tanks or with airplanes. So bringing in bombers, there are some bombers that are strong enough to blow up these sort of vehicles. Also the Typhoon ATs have quite a good chance of destroying half-tracks and stuff. They are quite expensive, of course, and we won't be seeing them until Phase C anyway. So my Firefly's still moving up, and there is a Honey Stewart over on this right side that's being engaged by my Panther D. And Panzerwerfer is waiting to fire a strike onto this location here where the 25-pounder is pushing in. That 25-pounder artillery currently doing some damage. You'll see a Spitfire Mark 9 severely harass my mortar truck. Now I think the Spitfire definitely could have done better to actually harass the 222 and the 250 because these guys are actually out of ammunition. So that's it. Like, the way you could tell that from his perspective is when he's flying over those vehicles, he's not actually being attacked by the 20mm autocannons. So he could definitely like use his Spitfire to harass them and maybe kill them. Because those Spitfires with the 50 cals can break through quite a lot of armour. You can see here, they can actually kill armoured half-tracks. That's just something to be wary of. Now my Panzerwerfer is firing, and the closest it's going to get is just to pin down 25-pounder. You have an MG42 moving forwards here, and this Panzer Grenadier squad finally gets rid of that Jeep 30 cal. I'm a bit worried about this Challenger, so just going to try and withdraw some of my troops. This half-track's already too far gone, so I'm just going to allow that to get popped, keeping the rest of my troops behind this set of houses. And they're actually firing quite heavily onto the Mark 9 now that I have the Opel Blitz coming up to resupply that. So again, a bomber would have been fantastic in this situation to destroy that, although also a rocket plane, Typhoon for example, would have done the same job as well. So Vickers HMG was spotted and destroyed very quickly with the help of the Panther D and the Panzer IV. And this is what I brought in for Phase C now. I've got a Befehl Panzer IV and a Panther D, which is not even Phase C yet, so this is just Phase D still. Just investing a lot of points into Panther Ds so that I can make a more concerted push, a concerted effort into enemy territory. So Honey Stewart still being the one to engage my tanks, and we're also managing to hit the 25-pounder with the Panther Ds now. We managed to take that out, and now we're being charged down by multiple command Stewarts with the enemy infantry in them. But as you can see, they have bumped into all of my fire support. So 2 Panther Ds and the Panzer IV are going to clean those up very nicely. In the centre, well, they are being pushed back slightly. The aircraft still coming in, still trying to pin down some of Val's infantry. There isn't actually too much here. It may look like there's quite a lot here, but it's just the flak Vierlings and then the 81mm mortars. Like, if there was a concern to push down this road, I would definitely be able to break through. But still a +2 lead in our favour. And I actually do manage to take out the Challenger that you saw on this side. It did come into line of sight of one of my Panther Ds and lost the duel. Panther Ds with the extra veterancy really paying off there, thanks to the Panzer IV. And I also have the command vehicle here as well, with the auto cannon. That's definitely helpful. So making tons of ground. Churchill 5s are the next target, but we're coming up towards the end of the game as we are running on 1,900 points. I think just Vets and Val's push in the centre really caught the enemy off guard early on, and they have started to push back quite heavily now. However, I made so much ground on this left side that it started not to matter, and I still have all of these vehicles back here for if we need to deal with any infantry, and in the meantime I'm bringing up my own infantry to occupy this small set of buildings here. That's just sort of future-proofing in case we do get attacked. But in the meantime, well, Churchill 5s and so on aren't going to be good enough to really take out Panther Ds or Panzer 4s. And well, after 22 minutes and 12 seconds, we win the game on Omaha. So this wasn't necessarily a game that I recorded just to show myself beating someone. It was more to just show off the beach and that you can actually play on it in the 4v4 version of the map. I haven't really played the 4v4 version before, I don't think, on the channel, so just wanted to show that off to you guys. And it was a pretty simple game from my perspective, but there we go. I didn't really have many other decent games to show you guys. Either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If we just quickly go to the team, you can see I got 1,590 kills to 280 losses. Val did very well as well, 1,380 kills, but lost quite a lot. Bet's also lost a lot, but they definitely made that push count in the middle, which gave us a lot of ground to work with. We go to the kills tab, you can see that all of my APCs, as well as the like the 222s as well, like all of the support vehicles, got their own fair amount of kills, which is very nice. This 222 picking up the Ouster kill onto that recon aircraft. Firefly picking off the Honey Stewart and so on. Panzer 2 going to be picking off loads of rifle squads, and the Panther D doing a great job as well. So it was all very spaced out on this game. There wasn't really one particular unit that did really well, but a combination of units that really allowed me to win the game. There was like a few times that obviously using my smoke and so on allowed me to almost outplay the opponent, but at the end of the day there wasn't too much to outplay. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I will be doing hopefully more close games in the future. I have been quite ill recently, so you have to bear with me. I haven't had much chance to play, but in the meantime, that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.